The vast darkness of space stretched endlessly before the research vessel horizon, its sleek metallic hull reflecting distant starlight. Jay Park sat motionless, his eyes fixed on the complex holographic displays that danced with streams of data and potential communication channels. Earth had been preparing this moment for decades. Humanity's first comprehensive data transmission to the unknown galactic civilization was about to begin. The ship's communication systems hummed with anticipation, a subtle vibration that seemed to match Jay's own internal excitement. Outside the reinforced viewing window, distant stars flickered like tiny promises of potential connection. Jay remembered the countless meetings, the years of preparation, the intricate selection of information that would represent humanity's first true introduction to potential alien civilizations. The data package was extraordinary. It wasn't just technical specifications or scientific achievements. It contained the essence of human experience: art, music, scientific discoveries, cultural narratives, mathematical principles, and technological innovations. Each byte was a carefully curated representation of human potential. Jay's fingers moved across the holographic interface, his movements precise and calculated. Years of training had prepared him for this singular moment. The transmission would take approximately 72 hours to reach its intended destination, the central database of the Galactic Council. A small notification blinked on his screen. Final system checks were complete. No turning back now. The compressed archive contained petabytes of information, compressed using quantum algorithms developed specifically for this transmission. What made this transmission unique was its adaptive encoding. The data could potentially reconfigure itself based on the receiving system's computational capabilities. It was a technological marvel that represented humanity's innovative spirit. The room around Jay was clinical and sterile, typical of deep space research vessels. White walls, minimalist design, and advanced technological interfaces created an environment of pure scientific purpose. Yet beneath the cold exterior, there was an undercurrent of hope and anticipation. Jay thought about the team back on Earth. Researchers, linguists, scientists, and cultural experts who had worked tirelessly to create this perfect representation of human knowledge. Their collective dreams were now compressed into this single transmission. His finger hovered over the final transmission button. One press would send humanity's first true message to the stars. No military aggression, no territorial claims, just pure, unadulterated knowledge and potential. The communication system began its complex initialization sequence. Quantum encryption protocols activated, creating multiple layers of secure transmission. The data started to pulse, ready to be sent across light years of unknown space. Jay took a deep breath. This wasn't just a scientific mission. This was humanity's first real chance to show what they were capable of, not as conquerors, not as threats, but as a species of incredible potential and creativity. A soft chime indicated system readiness. The transmission was prepared, waiting for that final command. Jay's hand remained steady, his heart racing with the weight of this moment. In the background, the ship's advanced AI systems monitored every aspect of the transmission. Backup systems were primed. Redundant communication channels were ready. Nothing was left to chance. The data represented more than just information. It was a message of hope, of possibility, of human resilience and innovation. Mathematical theorems danced alongside musical compositions. Engineering blueprints sat next to complex philosophical discussions. Jay pressed the transmission button. A soft hum filled the communication chamber. Streams of data began their journey, breaking apart and reassembling across unimaginable distances. Humanity's first true message was now traveling through the cosmic void. No one on the horizon knew exactly how this transmission would be received. Would alien civilizations understand its complexity? Would they see the potential hidden within these carefully selected bytes of information? As the transmission continued, Jay leaned back in his chair. Whatever happened next would change everything. Humanity had just stepped into a larger, more complex universe, and there was no going back. The stars outside continued to shine, silent witnesses to this momentous human achievement. In the central archive of the Galactic Council, massive crystalline data processors hummed with constant activity. Advisor Sung Lee adjusted his translation interface, initially expecting another routine data packet from a peripheral species. Little did he know this transmission would change everything. The incoming signal from an unknown coordinate caught the system's attention. Earth. A name barely registered in their vast galactic records. Most council members considered humans a primitive species barely capable of interstellar communication. As the data began streaming, something unusual happened. The transmission wasn't just information, it was alive. Adaptive algorithms within the package started restructuring themselves, matching the Council's complex computational systems with remarkable speed. Sung Lee watched in fascination. Normal transmissions required weeks of decryption. This one was unpacking itself, revealing layers of complex information within minutes. Mathematical equations transformed, cultural records reorganized, technological specifications adjusted in real time. The archive's senior researchers gathered around the primary display. Their tentacled appendages moved nervously, exchanging worried glances. This wasn't a standard communication. This was something unprecedented. One researcher, a blue-skinned humanoid from the Proxima cluster, noticed something extraordinary. The human data package contained problem-solving algorithms that seemed to predict potential computational challenges before they occurred. It was like the information was thinking, adapting, learning. Within hours, the transmission had completely integrated itself into the Galactic Council's database. Firewalls meant to protect against foreign data systems simply dissolved. The human information moved like water, finding every possible pathway, filling every available computational space. Sung Lee realized they were dealing with something entirely different. This wasn't just data. This was a living, breathing representation of human potential. Art blended with science. Mathematical principles danced with cultural narratives. Technology intertwined with philosophical concepts. The Council's translation systems worked overtime. Each decoded segment revealed more about these mysterious humans. Their history wasn't just a linear progression of events, but a complex tapestry of innovation, conflict, resolution, and continuous improvement. Technological blueprints embedded within the transmission suggested capabilities far beyond what the Council had anticipated. Quantum computing models that seemed decades, if not centuries, ahead of current galactic standards. Engineering concepts that challenged fundamental understanding of physics and material science. Researchers worked in intense shifts, analyzing every microscopic detail. The human transmission was like an intellectual ecosystem, with each piece of information connected and supporting others in ways no previous civilization had demonstrated. Some council members grew nervous. This wasn't just information. This was a potential threat. A species capable of creating such an adaptive, intelligent transmission could be unpredictable. Others saw it as an opportunity for unprecedented collaboration. Sung Lee continued monitoring, his own neural interfaces struggling to process the complexity. The human data wasn't just sharing knowledge. It was demonstrating a fundamental approach to understanding and solving problems that was revolutionary. Cultural records showed humans adapting, changing, growing in ways most stable galactic civilizations considered chaotic. Yet within that chaos was an incredible capacity for innovation. Every challenge seemed like an opportunity, every limitation a chance to evolve. The transmission continued, revealing itself layer by layer. Musical compositions that seemed to contain mathematical principles, artistic representations that included complex engineering concepts, scientific theories embedded with philosophical insights. By the end of the first day, the Galactic Council was in complete disarray. What had seemed like a simple data packet from an unknown species had become the most significant communication in recent galactic history. Sung Lee realized they were witnessing something extraordinary. Humans weren't just sending information. They were sending a living, breathing representation of their entire species, raw, unfiltered, and incredibly complex. As system analysts continued their work, One thing became clear: humanity had just changed the game. This wasn't just a transmission. This was an introduction, a declaration, a challenge to everything the Galactic Council thought they knew about intelligent life. The stars outside the council chambers seemed to twinkle with newfound excitement, as if they too understood something significant had just occurred. Research. Director Hyun Kim stared at the holographic displays, her eyes wide with disbelief. The human transmission had been running through advanced analysis systems for weeks, and each moment revealed something more incredible than the last. What started as a simple data package had transformed into a living technological marvel. The human algorithms moved like intelligent organisms, adapting and solving complex computational problems that had stumped galactic researchers for generations. The primary research laboratory buzzed with nervous energy. Researchers from multiple species gathered around the primary analysis station, watching as the human data continued to reveal its secrets. Each breakthrough seemed to challenge everything they understood about technological development. One particular algorithm caught Hyun's attention. It was a problem-solving mechanism that could predict potential technological challenges before they emerged. Unlike traditional computational models that responded to problems, this human algorithm anticipated and prevented issues entirely. The implications were staggering. Traditional galactic technological development followed a linear path, slow, methodical, carefully controlled. The human approach was different. It was dynamic, fluid, almost organic in its ability to adapt and transform. Quantum computing models embedded in the transmission demonstrated capabilities that seemed impossible. Where other civilizations required massive computational centers, humans had developed compact, efficient systems that could process complex information with minimal resources. Hyun noticed how the human data integrated different knowledge domains seamlessly. Engineering principles blended with artistic concepts. Mathematical theories danced with cultural understanding. Each piece of information was interconnected in ways no previous civilization had achieved. The research team began reconstructing some of the technological concepts. What would have taken years of development was now being reverse-engineered in weeks. Materials science algorithms suggested manufacturing techniques that could revolutionize entire industrial sectors. One researcher, a silicon-based life form from the Andromeda cluster, calculated that the human transmission contained more innovative potential in a single compressed file than their entire civilization had developed in 3 centuries. The most remarkable aspect was the human approach to problem solving. Where other species saw limitations, humans saw opportunities. Each technological challenge was viewed not as an obstacle, but as a chance for radical innovation. Biological adaptation algorithms were particularly fascinating. The humans had developed technological concepts that mimicked natural evolutionary processes, systems that could learn, adjust, and improve themselves without external intervention. Hyun realized they were looking at more than just technological information. This was a comprehensive blueprint of human potential. Every algorithm, every concept carried an underlying philosophy of continuous improvement and unlimited possibility. Energy production models suggested technologies that could transform entire planetary ecosystems. Sustainable systems that worked in harmony with natural environments, instead of exploiting them. It was a radical departure from traditional galactic industrial approaches. Communication technologies embedded in the transmission demonstrated an understanding of information transfer that was decades, if not centuries, ahead of current galactic standards. Adaptive networks that could self-repair, self-optimize, and protect against potential disruptions. The research team worked in shifts, analyzing every microscopic detail. Each discovery brought new questions, new possibilities. The human data wasn't just sharing technology, it was challenging fundamental understanding of technological development. Some researchers became almost obsessive, spending endless hours studying the transmission. They spoke in hushed tones about the potential implications. If a single data package could reveal so much, what might direct human communication look like? Hyun noticed how the algorithms seemed to have a kind of intelligence that went beyond traditional computational models. They didn't just process information, They understood context, anticipated needs, and proposed innovative solutions. As weeks turned into months, the research team's excitement grew. They were witnessing something unprecedented, a technological paradigm shift that could redefine everything they knew about innovation, adaptation, and potential. The human transmission had become more than a scientific curiosity. It was a window into a different way of thinking, a different approach to understanding technological potential. Outside the research facility, distant stars continued their silent dance, seemingly waiting to see what would happen next in this unfolding story of unexpected discovery. The Galactic Council chambers erupted with heated arguments. Delegate Wu Jin stood at the center, his presentation displaying the intricate details of the human transmission. Some council members looked excited, while others appeared deeply troubled. "We cannot ignore this," Wu Jin declared, his holographic display showing the incredible technological potential discovered in the human data. "This is not just another species. This is a civilization with capabilities we've never seen before." The council was deeply divided. Representatives from older, more established civilizations argued for caution. They saw the human transmission as a potential threat, an unpredictable force that could disrupt the carefully balanced galactic ecosystem. Representatives from younger, more dynamic species saw opportunity. The human approach to problem-solving, their adaptive technologies, and their innovative thinking represented a completely new paradigm of technological development. One senior delegate from the Centauri Confederation raised concerns. "These humans are volatile," she argued, her multiple eyes scanning the room. "Their history shows rapid technological advancement coupled with significant internal conflicts. They could be dangerous." Wu Jin countered with evidence from the transmission. He showed how humans had consistently solved complex challenges, how they transformed conflicts into opportunities for growth and understanding. Their potential for adaptation was unprecedented. The diplomatic tension grew with each passing moment. Some council members proposed immediate containment strategies. Others suggested establishing direct communication. A few radical representatives even proposed inviting humans into the Galactic Council. Security protocols were quickly becoming a primary concern. The adaptive nature of the human transmission had already demonstrated its ability to bypass existing technological barriers. What might direct human intervention look like? Historical records showed that most galactic civilizations developed slowly, carefully. Technological advancements were measured, controlled, predictable. The human approach was different, explosive, unpredictable, driven by an almost reckless pursuit of innovation. Wu Jin presented case studies from the transmission. Humans had transformed seemingly impossible challenges into groundbreaking solutions. Environmental crises, technological limitations, social conflicts. They approached each challenge with a unique combination of creativity and determination. The youngest delegates were particularly fascinated. They saw in humans a reflection of their own potential. A civilization that refused to be limited by existing understanding, that constantly pushed beyond known boundaries. Older civilizations felt threatened. Their carefully established systems of governance, technological development, and social structures seemed rigid and outdated compared to the fluid, adaptive human approach. Political debates raged for weeks. Each council session became a battleground of ideas, with the human transmission at the center of increasingly heated discussions. Some saw potential allies, others saw potential conquerors. Wu Jin remained calm through the debates. He understood that the human transmission was more than just technological information. It was a philosophical challenge to everything the Galactic Council believed about intelligent life and potential. Security experts analyzed potential risks. The adaptive technology suggested humans could develop defensive and offensive capabilities far beyond current galactic standards. Their problem-solving approach meant they could rapidly respond to any technological challenge. Cultural researchers studied the human records embedded in the transmission. They discovered a species driven by an almost inexhaustible curiosity, a desire to understand, to explore, to push beyond existing limitations. The diplomatic tension reached a critical point. The Council would soon need to make a definitive decision. Would they attempt to contain these humans, establish communication, or try to prevent them from further technological development? Wu Jin knew the decision would change everything. The human transmission had already demonstrated that traditional approaches would not work. Humans were not a species that could be easily categorized or controlled. As the debate continued, the transmission itself seemed to pulse with potential, a silent reminder of the incredible capabilities waiting to be understood. The stars outside the council chambers continued to shine, silent witnesses to this pivotal moment in galactic history. The Galactic Council's primary advisor, Yun Choi, sat in complete silence. Months of analysis had culminated in a revelation that would forever change galactic understanding of intelligent life. The human transmission was not just information. It was a living testament to a species that defied every known classification of technological and cultural development. As the final layers of data unfolded, the true depth of human potential became terrifyingly clear. They weren't just another species waiting to be categorized. They were a civilization that could fundamentally reshape entire understanding of progress. Initial fears of human aggression dissolved completely. The transmission revealed a species driven not by conquest, but by an insatiable curiosity. Every technological advancement, every cultural achievement seemed motivated by a desire to understand, to improve, to grow. Researchers discovered something extraordinary. The human data contained multiple layers of self-reflection. Unlike other civilizations that presented only their achievements, humans included their failures, their struggles, their continuous process of learning and adaptation. Mathematical models embedded in the transmission suggested humans could solve complex problems by approaching them from multiple perspectives simultaneously. Where other species saw limitations, humans saw opportunities for transformation. The cultural records were particularly fascinating. Humans had survived multiple near-extinction events, transformed devastating challenges into opportunities for growth, and consistently pushed beyond their own perceived limitations. Technological innovations demonstrated an approach to problem-solving that was completely unique. Adaptive systems that could learn, modify, and improve themselves in real time. Engineering concepts that worked in harmony with natural systems rather than attempting to control them. Yun Choi realized they were witnessing something unprecedented. This wasn't just a species presenting its achievements. This was a civilization, offering a fundamental reimagining of potential. The Council's most advanced analysts worked tirelessly, trying to understand the depth of human capability. Each analysis revealed more questions than answers. The transmission seemed to contain an almost infinite complexity. Biological adaptation algorithms suggested humans could potentially modify themselves to survive in environments that would destroy other species. Their technological and biological potential seemed virtually unlimited. Communication technologies demonstrated an approach that was both deeply personal and universally adaptive. Humans had developed systems that could communicate complex ideas across multiple platforms, multiple species, multiple understanding levels. The philosophical implications were staggering. Humans didn't see knowledge as something fixed, but as a continuously evolving process. Every piece of information was an opportunity for further understanding, further growth. Energy production models suggested technologies that could potentially transform entire planetary ecosystems. Sustainable systems that worked in complete harmony with natural environments, creating instead of consuming. Some council members began to understand. Humans weren't a threat to be contained. They were a potential key to solving some of the most complex challenges facing galactic civilization. The transmission continued revealing its secrets. Each layer demonstrated a species that refused to be limited by existing understanding. A civilization that saw every challenge as an opportunity for radical innovation. Yun Choi's final report was both exciting and terrifying. Humans represented a completely new model of intelligent development. They weren't just another species to be studied. They were a potential catalyst for galactic transformation. The most remarkable revelation was surprisingly simple. Humans didn't just adapt to challenges, they transformed them. Their entire civilization was built on the principle of continuous improvement, of seeing potential where others saw limitations. As the final analysis completed, the council sat in stunned silence. The human transmission had done more than share information. It had challenged every fundamental understanding of what intelligent life could be. The stars outside seemed to twinkle with a newfound excitement, as if they too understood something extraordinary had just been discovered.